Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Kavinsky's Tutorials. Today I'm looking at Neon by Aaron Meyers. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Meyers Aaron. I'll put a link in the pinned comment. While you're looking at it, maybe smash that like button please everybody. Thank you. So this is a really cool creative little sequencer, and it's only $5 at the moment. I don't know if that's an intro price, and this only works on iPad, not on iPhone, and it also works on M1 Max, and it's an AUv3. Now it just generates Midi, so you're going to want to load it inside a host app. Typically, like here I'm using AUM, or you could use, Logic or whatever. And then you're going to want to send that MIDI into a synth, right? Like here I'm using Phase Monkey. I did a walkthrough on this, really nice. So here I'm just sending in that MIDI from Neon. And I've also got here Stellar Vox by Igor Vasiliev, adding reverb. I did some presets for this that are on my Patreon, by the way. So let's look at Neon. So the main, let's see first of all actually how the interface resizes. Oops. Hey. So yeah, look. Resizes beautifully. Look at that. So here you've only got the, setting the notes for the different stages. Okay, nice. All right, so great job with the resizing. Now, another thing I like about the UI is you can choose exactly what you see. So here, everything is visible. The preset selector, and you can see it doesn't come with any presets of its own, unfortunately. States, which is basically, you can save this. And then you could do some alterations to it or whatever and save it as state B. And then you can just move between one state and another one. And then we have this modifiers section, which basically, allows you to do all kinds of alterations to the basic pattern here. And we'll look at all this stuff in more detail later. And then here, the settings part. So let's just look at settings. So you can choose your root note scale, and there are a lot of scales. Now, one thing I don't like is that, first of all, the list is so big. And the way this kind of scrolling thing works, it's just really hard to scroll through them all. It's impossible for me to do it with one movement. I've got to keep taking my finger off and trying again. So I don't really know, when you have that many scales, if it's really suitable to have a selector like this. Another thing I don't like about the selector is that if you want to jump, like let's say for example, you can see down here we have Lydian. So if I want to just jump directly from a harmonic minor to a Lydian, let's say, I can't do it, because as soon as I scroll through these, it will already start, like now it's playing Phrygian, and now it's Lydian. So I have to go through the intermediate scales To me, what would make a lot more sense is you choose one, and only when you release does it select that. That way you can do a performance and change from one scale to another and make the change come in only when you want it to come in. Now here we can transpose our octaves. So this can be quite fun to just jiggle around. And here we have the order. So if we put it on linear, you can see it's just progressing left to right and then back to the start. And so we got all these different orders here. And these are not described in the manual. Most of them are kind of clear when you just watch what they're doing, but a few of them are not all that clear. I mean, I'm really not 100% sure what the difference between random and shuffle is. I really like this one, pedal point. So that jumps between stage 1 and stage 2, and then goes stage 1, stage 2, back to 1, and then on to 3, back to 1, on to 4, and so on like that. And we can reverse things, and we can divide the speed. So now everything's half speed, or we could have third speed or whatever. And there are a lot of different things there. And again, it's kind of hard to scroll through them the way this menu selector is. Maybe not menu selector, but whatever, this scroll selector, I don't know. Now reset count, that can be pretty interesting. So here, as soon as it plays one pulse, it will just reset. So that means that it's just staying on the first step. So every pulse is a 16th note. So if we put that to 8, it'll basically reset every half bar. So if we set it to something like 11, you know, then we're kind of breaking outside a simple repeating pattern. So we still have a lot of repetitions, so it stays very musical, but we get a bit more variety in. So I really, really like sequencers like this. You know, they allow you to get very musical results without having to, you know, sit down on a piano roll and put in everything yourself. They're more musical than most generative sequencers. Of course, it depends. But yeah, I'm really enjoying the possibilities of this. And we can add swing. Let's bring that pulse up. So I'll just put it back to 50. We can change the color. And we can change the channel. Now, strangely, unless I'm missing it, it seems that you can't select it so that you could send out different steps to different channels. I think that might be an interesting addition. But I mean, you could always just use several instances of these and send them out to different synths anyway. So yeah, here just choosing our notes, and the notes will span 2 octaves and will only include the notes inside the scale selected here. Pulses. A pulse is a 16th beat. And if we look here, these are set up to play 1 pulse, but this is set to play 2, so that'll be an 8th note. And this one as well, that'll be an 8th note. And we can set up these different gate modes, so we can have things like multi that will play then now. Each pulse will actually play a note, but if we put it to single, I think it just plays on the first pulse. Yeah, it just plays on the first pulse, and then there's a rest. Or we can have just a complete rest, so it won't even play this at all. And you can see that because this does not get lit up when this part does. So if we change it back to single, for example, you can see that's lighting up there when it plays. And hold, if you put the next note the same value as this, hold can work as a tie. So that's these gate modes. And the states thing that's mentioned in the manual, how to set that up, let me see. Oh yeah, so yeah, like here basically we'd go in and set up state B the way we want it, and then when you've got something that you like, you would just drag it over here and add it. So that's the way these state things work. But I have not played around with that, and I'm not going to bother. And yeah, the manual is not very long. It's also not complete, but it's not missing much. I think it might be just missing information about the order, the stuff. Whoops, accidentally pressed state B. Sorry, D. Now how do I get... why is this stuck there? Okay, so let's just get that states away. I have not used that. So, presets, if you just want to save something, you just press save, and then you put in your name, and you can save it. And then if you drag left, then you have the option to delete it. So modifiers. So you can see at the moment I've got octave, transpose, and ratchet modifiers set up. So did you hear that when it when it came here, it played a couple of shorter, faster notes, right? Now, exactly how these behave will also depend on the gate modes, if I remember rightly. So let's just get a bit more extreme with the ratchets. Okay, so you can hear very clearly now that ratcheting. I love ratchets. So transpose, so it will transpose here, it'll up 2 intervals in the C harmonic minor scale. And here it'll do these octave transposes. Now, if we press on this, we can just disable those. So you see, that's what it's like, this sequence without any modifiers. And that's just not that interesting, is it? So, you know, listen with the modifiers added in. Really adds a lot, huh? So if we click here, add modifier, it'll come up like this and it'll say unassigned. And so then you press here and then this little window will open up. And so this is where you choose the type. And we have unassigned, okay, octave, transpose, velocity, so we can alter note velocity a bit. We can send out CC messages. Pulse count, so we can vary the number of pulses in a stage. Pulse pattern, that will like, let's say this only works when the gate mode is set to multi. So let's say you have a stage where you've got gate set to multi and 4 pulses. Pulse pattern will allow you to determine which of those pulses will play, the first, the second, the third, or the fourth. Here you can override the gate mode and put a different gate mode when it plays a step. Gate length, you override the gate length, or just vary the gate length. I think it's set to a default gate length of 50%. And ratcheting and division. Okay, I'm just gonna delete that. So here we have this little thing. So we press on that, and now here we see the way the octave modifier is set up. So first of all, we see that the order is linear. So that is allowing this sequence to be a bit more predictable. If we change it to sync, see now how this will follow the pattern of the main selector up here. And so that's going to be very predictable. And so now we're getting something much more, well, something that varies a lot more. Okay, so that's the principle of using these order things. And here we can choose what will cause this pattern to advance, so to move on to the next step. So the normal way is just pulse, so it'll move on every 16th note, or we can set it up so that it will move on when a new note is played up here. So for example, when there's a rest note, then this will not advance, or here it will even move on when a ratchet is played. So you can see that when these ratcheted stages play, it makes very fast advances. Stage, I guess that's just when it moves on to a new stage. And then again, we can select division, and we can enable or disable the effect. So you can see they're kind of grayed out there. And this stage mask is really cool. So, for example, let's say I always want, let's say, the first and the fifth stage to just play at the same octave value. I don't want them to ever be affected by any of these modifiers. Then I can just choose here 1 and 5, and now this is always going to play at exactly the same octave. Now if we want to delete a modifier, we can press the bin here, and then down here we can set the likelihood that the modifier will be engaged. So here 1, 2, that means that I think that means that every 2 times it is triggered, then you will get the modifier. You can check that in the manual. But yeah, that's its basic principle, something like that. I'm just looking at it and a bit confused. What is 1, 2, 2, 2? Is that, I mean, 2, 2, that's the same as 1, 1, I don't know. Anyway, it's described in the manual. Or you can just set percentage chances. So here there's only going to be 10% chance when this is triggered that it will actually move the octave down 2. So the vast majority of the time it won't do that. And so there's no 100% because 100% is just on, right? That's 100%. Or you can just turn this one off. Okay, so I think we've looked at everything about the app, and hopefully you've got an idea of how powerful and how fun this can be. Super cool. So thanks for watching, everyone. Please don't forget, I've got a Patreon, and it's so important for the future of this channel that I get support there, because the money from YouTube is so tiny. So if you're interested in what I do, if you appreciate it, and you'd like a chance to get, I have loads of giveaways there, exclusive videos, presets, samples, field recordings, all kinds of really cool stuff. Go and check out the Patreon, a link is in the description. And thanks a lot to all the currently 25 paying members only. So I really need more support, everyone, that are supporting me on Patreon. But I really appreciate those people who are, so massive thanks to all of you. Okay, cheers everyone. I'll see you in the next video.